We talked about layering the other time. This is part of who we are. We layer up. We wear pieces of. It's not just one piece of clothing that we wear. Because if you now, for instance, when this one piece thing started, when the trend started, we found out some of our younger ones, even some of our agbalagba, me, they wear one piece on rubbish underneath.
And then
before you know it, there's a minor accident on the road and they're exposed because they misunderstood
free window
what the one piece was supposed to do. They felt it was an liberty to wear jagba under. So and once there's something, even in fact it might not even be accident, ategun lasan, we just raise everything like this. So there's this misunderstanding. You now say that it has to be one piece.
No.
One piece that ategun ba fe by, all your chest is out. All your ass is out.
Everything.
And then they'll be looking at her sister. Actually, sister, coffee, bang. So please, we should talk. Me, I will not want to talk too much because before it turns to bars, but just be sure that you are properly covered
and learning from the right
your shape, your skin color, is not out. So that even you, as you are going, any bars that wants to happen, you know that even if this outer one is off, something is still covered under. Or they say that oh yeah, let's start running. It's not that you'll be running. How will I run? So let's just, and then of course again, like she rightly said, who you are learning from. A lot of trend loti want and say, like I used to say, hijab at a fine gun sing, and if one is not careful, you can just so still face your Lord. The big picture, the ultimate aim is to seek His face, and of course to keep the society sane. Because otherwise, we could say rubbish. But then where do we throw the society when men are now put at joke?
Wow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's good to be back here again on our seasons. And as usual, I remain Naimat Temitope Abdulaziz, NTA. And with me, as usual, is
Sidi Kotune Lawal, STL.
Rashida Adetun Okeolani Olori Adetun.
Mariam Nuruddin Areli, the pacemaker.
And today, the topic is an interesting one. Abi, everybody wants a soft life. I beg, I can't shout. Day for who, day for you. I beg, that's it more. My mental health is important. Please, if you are not for me, Oga, move away. We hear all these things and then we realize that everybody just wants to be selfish about the way we feel and not considering the fact that we owe each other a lot. A lot of times people just come up with the narrative of, please, I don't care, as long as I'm happy. Whatever happens, no. We should learn to be our brother's keeper. We should be able to consider how other people feel. We should also consider other people's feelings towards us, and we should not just cut people off just because we feel we want to be happy. So on that note, we are going to look at this discussion. What does Islam say about self-care? Olori.
Okay, self-care. First of all, we need to know that our body, our soul is an honor on us. So we need to find a way to take care of it. Because Allah will ask you. It's not yours. It's not yours. So your self-care is also an ibadah on you. It is not about what people say about you. It is about your own responsibility over yourself and of course your ibadah towards Almighty Allah. Self-care is top-notch. Whatever that you want to do, if you are not okay mentally, physically, psychologically, then definitely your ibadah can also be faulty. A mentally unstable person cannot perform ibadah the right way. That's what we need to know. Because you will not be stable. You'll find yourself fluctuating, moving here and there. Your mind is not stable. Don't talk about even your physical self, your confidence, might also be lost. So self-care is not something you should even joke about when it comes to Islam.
Mashallah. I like that. So self-care, even in Islam, is very, very important. STL.
Riding from what Olori said is self-care really. It is one of the fundamentals for us because, like she rightly said, it is an amana, is a trust on us. The challenge, however, is, I think where to draw the line between actually looking out, taking care of yourself across all levels, physically, psychologically, and all of that.
Spiritually.
Spiritually, thank you. As against being too consumed with yourself. So I think that is where the major challenge is. Yes, take care of yourself. Look good. Take care. But when it gets to the point where you start to cross the boundaries, the limits, then. So, and that's why we have extremes these days. Extremes that have, in fact, blown up to the point where we are now pausing to ask ourselves, is this still self-care? Is this still, or I think
community war. Arole, so let's hear from you.
Self-care. Before you care for yourself, do you know who you are? People, you cannot pour for an empty cup. And I don't know, there's a legal magazine. You can't give what you don't have. So, first of all, you need to know who you are. Before the self-care became a thing, we know what to know. Self-awareness. Who am I? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? If you know your strengths, your weaknesses, it will help you align how to care for yourself. You know that the best way to enjoy your day is maybe having a good cup of tea. Solar is important, right? After those things, what are the things that make you tick? And in the middle of all this, we have our family life, we have our ambition. Sometimes, if you let your ambition ride you, you can run your self-care out of it. That's why people are overly ambitious. They don't have time for themselves. But the first thing is, when you know who you are, you know what ticks you, you know what makes you important, what takes your day ahead. Like, okay, a great day for me is having a cup of tea, eating good meals, not eating junks, is self-care. Sometimes you love ice cream, you love chocolate, you have cake, but you know that you are diabetic. That's no longer self-care, that's selfish. And you're even not only self-eating or self-detriment, you are suffering other people, probably your family that would want to take care of you, that will lose you lose the person at the point in time. So in all this, remember that self-care is knowing what is good for you and what's bad. And Islam says there's an heart. In that heart is what we have, the good heart, we have the bad mind. So we have to be careful what we bring into our heart in self-care, so that our heart will not be corrupt. It's not only about food, it's not only about the superficial things, it's about our spirituality as well. What are we consuming? Social media is now, porn is all over there, all those things. If you are not caring for yourself, you will consume doom. You call it doom scrolling, start scrolling everywhere and there. And before you know what, you don't know what is to be shared and not to be shared. Part of self-care is privacy. Social media is there now. Everybody wants to share how I made the first 1 million, how I gave birth to 10 children, or I gave birth to delivery. There are many news now. You see people share their gender. In the past, they don't do gender review. It's not as if it's not good, but like
people will even feel somehow to announce that they're actually pregnant.
There's no oath power with privacy anymore. We're now seeing Muslim couples trying to emulate the dream marriage, dream everything, and they show themselves there. Muslim woman, we have our main audience. Please, in self-care, don't abandon your haya, your modesty, and say, sometimes people become so socially conscious that they remove the hijab because they want to satisfy the social people, they want to follow the trend and say, when people remove, they say self-care, self-care, knowing yourself that what you are doing today, apart from our life in day-to-day life, apart from this dunya, you're going to account to Allah. So why are you doing self-this where Allah is who we're going to account for? Don't do self-worship in the name of self-care.
Thank you, Arole. This topic is an interesting one, and I'm beginning to look at it from so many angles. Like when we talk about self-care, then it goes even beyond you. You must also consider people around you. How well do you want to take care of yourself in such a way that, number one, you won't get to disturb other people around you. You won't get to influence them in a negative way, all in the name of you are doing self-care. STL, I want us to actually delve into this, issue of self-care, especially beautification for we Muslims. As in, I want us to look at it, that does it mean that the fact that we are putting on our hijab, does that stop us from beautifying ourselves?
Okay, coming from the line of our teachings, our values as a people, one of the most preached doctrine for us is hygiene, cleanliness. And of course, it starts from there. Because we are Muslim women, we layer. Our dressing, we layer a lot. There's a tendency for us to, sweat and all of that to get trapped because of the way we dress. Another woman who perhaps has just want something flimsy and air can pass through, as against us who have to wear like 2-3 clothing plus our hijab and all of that. There's need for extra caution for us. And so beautification comes under beautification, because of course if you don't take a bath, will you just swim in fragrance? And but yes, we have limits, because we are people who are guided, by teachings of the Sharia. So whatever it is we are going to do should not cross the limit of tabarruj. You don't go wanton display for nothing, as in just extreme display of your beauty and all of that, or extreme practices, beauty practices. For instance, some people like the diastema. They don't have it, but they'll go and shave. They want it to have gap tooth. We already know as Muslims that it's not allowed. Wow. Some people feel that their eyebrows are too shady, it's too bushy. They'll go and shape it. Some people add extra lashes. All of these extremes. And they will hide under self-care, beauty, and trying to. We are Muslims. And we follow our guidelines.
Yes, we have a manual.
Exactly. So we do not, under the guise of trend, or wanting to look beautiful, or wanting to look a certain way. Under that too is toning, whitening, bleaching. Under that is removing ribs because you want to be shapy, curvy. Under that is BBL. Under that is, and the extremes that is happening these days. There are limits. We have limits, we have boundaries. Under that is you wearing something that that it seems you're dressed, but you're actually negligent. Apart from the fact that your skin color is obvious, your shape is obvious, and in fact, there's nothing left to be imagined. So yes, we're allowed to beautify. In fact, you will hear some people say that awala leisure, truly. But when we do all this short thing, we'll cover it up, except for what is apparent. Because of course, too, during the time of Prophet Sallallahu, he said, the hand of the woman should not look like that of the man. So much so that when two hands are out, you should be able to distinguish a woman's hand from a man's hand. And that's where we are encouraged to use the, henna to decorate, so that it is different. You will not see two hands behind the screen and you'll be able to. So we have, yes, it is allowed, it is permitted, but where do we draw the line? And that is staying within limits. We don't jump at everything, because now these days, because brands want to sell their products and all of that, they are pushing us subliminal, conditioning. They are tilting the world, women.
And they're making it look like it's natural.
Of course, there's no particular narrative, and that is why instead of us, giving it different names, instead of us admitting that people are bleaching, they say they are toning,
they're
maintaining.
Yes,
they are, and before you know, you say, "Oh, look fresh, look how
the skin is skinning."
So all of this, we know in the depths of our mind. Toning, you are bleaching, or that you are, So, but because you are seeking validation, or you feel that in people that are getting more attention, or certain people look certain way on the media, you also want to look like that, not knowing whether this person is even using filter.
Yes,
somebody is on screen now, you are looking at, and you think, this person used to be. You don't know whether it's there. Thank you. So stay within. And how will you stay within limits? Knowledge. If you do not know, somebody may just wake up and decide, like ST or GM, you are not allowed to file your teeth. as a Muslim woman. I remember some years ago, a sister we were in a conversation and she was saying, please don't tell me the injunction on nose ring. Once you tell me, I won't be able to do it again. And I laughed.
Can you imagine?
So you know,
So you see knowledge. And there are times where you just want to call bluff off. But again, when you remember that this is not just about you, it's not just about what people will say, it is about between you and your Lord. You stay within limits.
accountability.
Yes,
Yes,
that draws us to what Sister Miriam said initially, that who are you?
Limits. You stay within limits and understand that everything, I can beautify myself and still get reward. As against somebody who will do the same thing and acquire a share. So stay within limits. And for those who, take for instance, I mentioned the other time that we layer up. It doesn't mean because we layer up, we should go everywhere with stench, with funk. Enter a place and everybody is taking cover. One day. So we know how, to maintain that balance. We are Muslim women. We don't use fragrance that will trail when we are outside, when we are outdoors. But it does not mean that you shouldn't take care of yourself. Roll on, no, mist, but such that when you go out, it doesn't trail. You don't leave a trail of, people already know your fragrance. No, people already know your fragrance. Once you enter a space, they say, somebody has entered. So that is what is not. But it's not like we are not. So because you even we sisters will get to a place and immediately somebody comes in. So we are Muslim women. We are Muslims. We are clean. We are hygienic. Again, that's why it even shows in our form of worship. We worship before we go into Salah. What does that tell us? Kini Iwa important, but know where to, stay within limits.
Okay, so Arole, please, can you, at what point does beautification becomes a kind of, when does it become transgression? Because a lot of times if you begin to look at it, should be just a little, just to shape the eyebrow a little. It's not like I'm removing it. It's not as if I'm removing what Allah has done for me. Just a little, and then some people begin to justify it. Like it's not as if what they are doing is actually bad. Maybe they begin to see that some people are becoming extremists and begin to attach so much to it. Please, can you just enlighten us? At what point does beautification becomes transgression?
First of all, what is good is clear. What is bad is clear. Between them is what they are not sure. The ambiguous things. That's what Islam says. So understand it. Sometimes the hijab can be a beautification. There's this cliche of my hijab, it doesn't stop me from doing what I need to do. You are wearing hijab. The hijab that you are wearing, your shapes are still showing. Dressing like you are undressed. Your is camel arm style of hijab where you are wearing hijab, all the hair shape is up and obvious, and knowing that whatever you are doing is becoming your intent. It starts from the intention actually. Knowing that, okay, am I well covered? Am I doing this for Allah's sake, or I'm doing it for validation? There are times that if you know that what you are doing is for Allah's sake, even when jobs come. I recently spoke with somebody and said she's not even wearing the full hijab. Her hijab is small, and at the job interview they're asking her, can you remove your hijab? Hijab is something that you have to be staunch with it, like it's firm with it, and at that point you're knowing that you're worshiping Allah with it. So you're not beautifying it. It's not all status. There are colors. It's not about the color. It's not about the distance. But in your mind, you know that within me and my Allah, is this thing normal? One. Apart from the hijab, sometimes people are in hijab, they are wearing short clothes that are not befitting of it. It's no longer covering what's supposed to be covered. Or you start doing beautification styles, maybe using makeup that are very, very obvious. I say makeup. Makeover, yes. Then there's skincare, Skincare that becomes to be like, if you are not moving with us, if you are not wearing a particular brand, you can't stay with us. There's not classism. Then you are not that you are transgressing. Islam does not put differences between us. It even shows in our salah. You are before the kings. The kings, governors, ordinary people will be before Allah at the same stand before them. So, hijab must bring a sort of humility within you, in your dressing, in your speech, because sometimes we can say, "Hey, we have just been there." You are not using your voice to entice the public. You're talking with firmness. You are using the good things. You are not. Even hijab can become a crime when you are smelling. In these things, you know that you are an ambassador of Islam. One, whatever you are doing, Ask yourself, am I doing this for Allah? Or I'm doing it for validation? You are under social media, you are under constant social media scrutiny. You don't want to think about it that what I'm doing, am I not doing it too much? Also remember, you are not to be seen with hijab and be dancing, display online. People be dancing, be shaking body, and there's also this fashion of because I'm in hijab, I'm in corporate space, I will not there will not be barriers. Know this, we are different. We are outstanding women. We can never be like the same people. So you have to show that we're not the same. Not that they're showing them off, showing off. Hijab does not come with showing off, but just be on your own business stand. Socialize, but don't let it be like that funky alaja. It's not a compliment. It's an insult. When they say you're funky alaja, they say this is alaja that it's alaja that we can manipulate, alaja we can gaslight, alaja we can use to influence other alajas and say, can't you see that person? You need to cause injustice. Remember, in your hijab, there's a fear of Allah that your husband will also be. Sometimes it's not about your husband, but sometimes when we want to marry, there's this peace of mind. I say, I married a woman in hijab. Nothing can happen. The trust that comes with it. That it's not all men will have that trust with their wife, because there's peace of mind that this woman is a woman that is humble, that is modest, and have a fear of Allah.
Okay, Olori, I want us to go a little bit further now in these terms of.
Can I chip in a little?
Okay,
there?
all right, no problem.
Part of when it becomes, transgression is when you obligations, you start to bypass obligations because of beautification. Take for instance, especially on big days of brides these days, they are fully made up that to go and wash up that makeup to perform salah is wahala. Or they are dressed in such a way that ati shalala for me sorry. So sometimes some of these things get to the point where it will disturb, it will affect, it will even prevent you from obligations.
Yes.
Because you want to, do you know how much I spent on this? You want to tie gele because you are going out. Yet you know that once you have tied that gele with all your hijab,
you can't perform ablution again.
To perform, you will do it becomes. So it is part of, again, like I was jokingly saying it the other time. Now these days, people go under the knife. Why? Because they want to alter.
Yeah.
What you're saying is the one who created you, Alkalik that created you, the way he created you has made a mistake. So you sabi pass and you want to correct the mistake. So that is when it becomes, and that's why people see it as no now, big deal. Who are you to tell your Lord that?
Living in denial.
Who are to say that back on fair look? Simply because you are looking at some whitewashed nonsense. So that is when it becomes, and that's why we're saying it and it's seeming like it's not a joke. They've gone to the point where people are removing ribs because they want to have a certain figure. Rib. So and then you wonder again. All of these things have side effects. You do BBL. For those who have experienced, those who are doing BBL, they say it gets to a certain point where you sit close to them, they start to stink. And that's why they have to drown themselves in perfumes. So, and of course, to maintain this thing, you spend extraordinary for what? You want to fix eyelashes. You know the stress the kind of strain. These Oju that the one they are created will give you light of you. You will now want to, because you want to look a certain way. So when we start to alter, even you in the core of your mind, in your quiet moments,
you self-destruction.
You know that thought motin sodas express, but you are justifying it that at least
they're self-manipulating.
But in all of this, why are we actually doing all this beautification? Just because of men?
It may not even
be because of men. For yourself.
It may not be because of men. For some people, it's not even men. For some people, it is that they cannot resist the pressure. And
yes.
That is why this is long
following trends.
Have head mentality.
The kind of people that they also watch. For example, now they might have a particular lady that they're admiring and they want to be like that person, like an influencer. And that's why we need to be very careful. Even as influencers, that we call ourselves, okay, we are Muslims and we are influencing people. We have to be very careful with the kind of things that we influence people about. Because you feel that, okay, financially you are stable, you can do a lot of things. But there's some people that are looking up to you. Financially, they are not buoyant enough to even be in that space. But the way you come out, you put yourself there with your right size of hijab and everything, your jewelries, you are giving another person pressure.
Again, let's go back to before we talk about somebody giving you pressure. Don't
Pressure yourself.
Who are you?
Hold on. I understand that you are not pressuring yourself. Yes, I agree. But at the same time, we need to be very careful the way we influence people out there.
No doubt, but you take responsibility for yourself.
Agreed.
It is you that opened your phone to go and be watching Lagbaja.
There are some influencers that are not Muslims.
Exactly.
Because they have good content.
Exactly, you follow them. Because see, before we shift it to
do you know what? STL, hold on. I get what you're saying.
So let's start from there.
And we'll still get there. I get what you're saying. At the same time, when you are influencing people, you need to let them know the good and the bad.
Not everybody will do
Most
that.
Influencers don't
want to be influencers.
They don't
plan it, but they get paid for it.
They don't.
But they get paid for it.
It doesn't.
See, it is
not one day.
after a certain
viral.
That's when they start to get paid for it, because people have noticed that sometimes
you are the one influencing that influencer.
Exactly,
when
because
you start
following
liking a particular content, they start doing it.
And that's when they start to gain
so it's
crowd.
not only on the influencer herself or himself. It is on
even we. What we are
Are you now saying that it is wrong for those people to go on social media to see these people that they feel that they can also look up?
There's the
block unfollow button for
yes. Who are you for you to get influenced?
I see a toxic space. I unfollow.
Okay. Look at.
How would you know it's toxic?
See,
you will know
part of knowing
when you see have a sense of.
We had this conversation recently, and we're talking about Muslim women who have gathered followers based on teachings of Islam. They've gathered a whole community. They're influencing thousands, millions. And then one day they just sleep and wake up and remove the hijab and they push it in people's faces. You gather these millions of people based on the teachings of Islam.
Of course.
You now sleep and wake up and say your mental health has
self-love,
and then you want to remove the
hijab. What is about that?
And then when you now remove it, you will not remove it quietly in the corner of your house.
You announce
and be making people confused. Because people who have been following
they held you in high esteem.
They will now
exactly what I'm saying.
That is why we're saying
we have been influenced by another pressure.
See, over time, you have put something out that people trust. That's why they've been following you.
Of course.
Now, when you decide that you want to share corner from that, you will share by yourself. Don't drag them along.
That's why we also need to be very careful.
We are following, or those who follow them, is because they feel Muslimi with Temilele. She's telling me, she's trying to put me on the right path. So you have a common ground. So you too, you owe yourself not to take everything hook, line, and sinker. You can be influenced, no doubt. Even you are a child, only people will influence it. How much more a total stranger?
You have your own mind of your own. And besides, I'm repeating myself.
You cannot
Some of these influencers they are being influenced by pressure of social, maybe advertisement.
Of course, because they know that you followers are giving them their paycheck.
Yes.
So they will do what you want. Again, some people will come today.
They say, why can't you write about this tomorrow?
These influencers are the same people who they come out a certain way today. And on the comment section, you are hearing, I just need to check in tomorrow. Look, let it look like this tomorrow. What does that mean?
They call it
the influencer
reverse influencing.
Yes, influencer is now looking at, okay, got a ferry name. What are we so? It's a two-way street. So before we say, yes, it's true, we owe, no doubt, especially as Muslim women. In fact, it's not even influencers alone. Once you become an adult, know that there's one person somewhere looking up to you.
That's it.
Not push all of it.
No, we're not pushing all of it, but we just need to be very careful. We want to put outside
the same way scholars will say that. So I was just trying to guide you.
Do as I.
Shall not be in a minute.
Do as I do.
This hijab.
Yes.
Differs.
Yes.
Sometimes old people that are wearing two-piece on a particular pedestal that they are not wearing the hijab. Oh, you have gone past. You are no longer on the right path.
Hold on, sorry, please.
I recently read about a Muslim. I said that if you are wearing two-piece as a nursing mom, you are not doing enough. You should continue wearing one piece. And one piece mother type hijab. When in fact there are many factors with this hijab. Why hijab for a big person in biggest stature is different from hijab for the slim person?
I was about to say
tall
that.
person that is short or someone that is
because I know that one piece hijab does not fit all.
Yes.
Sometimes you wear one piece
you'll be
hijab
more
from
exposed.
you'll be more exposed. And that's why people go for Two-piece.
That is why we should be careful who we read online. You don't take your social media, your online Islamia on social media, on all this, so understand where you're learning from. It is not only about influencer. It's just anybody can influence anybody.
I can't even imagine it saying that.
I'm sincere.
When you wear two pieces, of course, you know that it is for you to be well covered. That's why you're doing that.
We talked about layering the other time. This is part of who we are. We layer up. We wear pieces of. It's not just one piece of clothing that we wear. Because if you now, for instance, when this one piece thing started, when the trend started, we found out some of our younger ones, even some of our agbalagba, they wear one piece on rubbish underneath.
And then
before you know it, there's a minor accident on the road and they're exposed because they misunderstood
free window
what the one piece was supposed to do. They felt it was an liberty to wear jabba under. So and once there's something, even in fact it might not even be accident, ategun lasan, we just raise everything like this. So there's this misunderstanding. You now say that it has to be one piece.
No.
One piece that ategun ba fe by, all your chest is out. All your ass is out.
Everything.
And then they'll be looking at her sister. Coffee bang. So please, we should talk. Me, I will not want to talk too much because before it turns to bars, but just be sure that you are properly covered
and learning from the right
your shape, your skin color, is not out. So that even you, as you are going, any bars that wants to happen, you know that even if this outer one is off, something is still covered under. Or they say that, hey, oh yeah, let's start running. It's not that you'll be running. How will I run? So let's just, and then of course again, like she rightly said, where we are learning from. A lot of trend, loti want and say. Like I used to say, hijab ti fine gun sin. And if one is not careful, you can just so still face your Lord. The big picture, the ultimate aim is to seek his face, and of course to keep the society sane. Because otherwise we go say rubbish. But then where do we throw the society when men are now put at joke?
Wow.